Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me. This is the place where women over 60 come to be inspired. And my guest today is Lisa Copeland. Lisa is a dating coach and she has a website called findaqualityman.com. Lisa focuses on women over 50 and her mission in life is to show women how to attract and to keep a good quality man. Hi Lisa, welcome to the show.
Hi, Margaret. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. I love having you on because we've got so many women in our community who want to get back in the dating scene, if only to make a friend, if not necessarily for a husband or a boyfriend. But they know that the best way is online with a dating site, and yet they've got lots of concerns. So I'd like to throw a few scenarios to you and see if you can help us. So first thing, okay, I'm going to go on a dating site. I don't know what to say. I really don't know how to write a profile that's going to attract someone. What advice would you give?
Well,
just in 25 words or less. I guess there's some key words that we could use, or just ways of describing our interests and who we are.
The biggest thing to remember is a profile is only about getting someone to want to meet you or to at least contact you. That's it. Don't tell stories. Keep it short and sweet. Tell a little bit about you, a little bit about what you're looking for, and maybe a story that you envision being in together in the future. And then leave it with, if this sounds like you, I'd love to hear from you.
Now, are there any words that you shouldn't use though? Are there any red flags that put people off, that put a guy off?
Yep. The biggest one is demands. When you say a man has to do this, or don't do this if you have this, or do this, or men have enough demands in their lives. They don't want more demands in their lives, and they'll go right past you if they think you're demanding. And there's a second one too. You give hints to who you are with some of the things you write. Yeah. And when you have baggage, you say something like, I'm looking for a man who is emotionally connected, or I'm looking for a man who who doesn't have anger issues. This is automatically a red flag. Hey, I had this in my last relationship. I'm carting this baggage with me.
Okay, all right. That's actually good advice. But I like the part that don't go into long stories. This is the chance just to grab his attention and just show yourself to be a fun, nice person and
fun and flirty and interesting.
Yeah, and interesting. Absolutely. So that's the first thing. The second thing might be pictures. I don't have a good headshot, or I don't know. I can't take a selfie. What advice on pictures?
Oh, don't take selfies. I had a man show me a selfie a woman had taken in a public bathroom with 25 toilet stalls behind her. No, seriously, no guy wants to see that. In fact, we hate selfies when men do it. No selfies. Best pictures, a headshot, smile. You'd be surprised how many women don't smile. Men love women's smiles. It makes you look happy. And a full-length picture, because most of the time, if you're just putting a headshot on, they're thinking you're hiding something anyway. And a lot of women go, well, look, they may not like me because I'm 10 pounds overweight or whatever. But once they got to know me, they'd like my personality. Don't do that. Let it come out in the beginning, because you want someone who likes you just like you are.
Okay, so that next question then is, should you wear makeup? How much should you do yourself up?
I think you should. I really do. And also use flash in a picture, because it pops our eyes. Our eyes start to sink in this area. And flash will pop it. It's also, I used to be a photographer, and it's called flat lighting, and it really makes you look about 1,000 times amazing, more amazing. But I do suggest makeup. If you're not used to wearing makeup, at least get something on. It does enhance your features. You want to show the best to you, and you may as well enhance your features. Yeah. Not a lot. You don't have to put a lot on, though.
Yeah. No, I have a woman, Ariane Poole, who does our makeup videos with me. And we talked about this once. And she said, be really careful, like for Skype or anything, but a camera is not seeing you like a mirror does. So if you want to look at, you have to put a little bit more blush. And she said to put it here, like right on this part, because when you're looking straight on, no one cares what's here. It's just, just a little tip like that makes you look a little more alive and sparkly. So like your advice, the light and maybe a bit of blush lipstick.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got profile, we've got pictures. What else should you talk about your children or your family? I mean, how much should you reveal about your personal life in a profile? Because it asks you all these questions, like, do you like this? Do you like that? I mean, you're prompted to be revealing.
There's so much you can say on a first date. I give women, in fact, 35 first date questions. So those kinds of things leave for your first date. It's like you don't have to share that much. You just want to pique his interest. The other problem with bringing up children, grandchildren, pets right then and there is we are pretty devoted to our grandchildren and our animals. And men know that. And they think, is she going to have time for me? Will there be balance? And you can verbally say that when you're talking to someone on the phone. Mm-hmm. You can't express that when you just write, I love my grandchildren. Then he thinks, she's only going to have time for grandchildren. Because you have to remember, people tell stories about what you write, which isn't necessarily the truth of what you write.
Yeah. So I guess the thing is really that you don't have to follow the rules of the online dating site in terms of filling in every single detail. You just need a couple of sentences, like you said, about, what you're looking for and, fun, and you're full of life and excited to meet someone or whatever, and a fun picture.
Right. Because that's all you want is someone to contact you to meet you. And then you'll see if you're a fit to, when you talk on the phone, to even meet.
So that was the next question I was going to ask you, is that how long would you normally wait before saying, hey, let's talk on the phone? What would your advice be there?
Great question. So I do not believe in being an email pen pal or a phone pen pal. Maximum 10 short emails, maximum 2 phone calls, and you need to meet someone within 2 weeks of starting this process. Otherwise, you could be dealing with a scammer. But you also don't want to give too much away, because I just had someone tell me yesterday, a client of mine say she was talking to this guy. They had great phone conversations. They exposed too much about themselves. I'm not even saying sexually, just about their hearts, their vulnerabilities. Yes. And when they met, it did not connect.
Yeah. And they've taken all that time out of their lives basically to try to make it work somehow. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's another question. I mean, are there any signs, just putting scammers aside, because we're going to do a separate video on that, which I think is a really important security issue. But putting that aside, are there any things a guy might say or do, even though in those first couple of messages that might put you off? I mean, like, if they're overly affectionate, or is there anything to look out for? Just in those first few calls or emails?
I would say to the men that want to sext right away, or say, send me a picture, or they send you a picture of some of their private parts, stay away from that. Women do get, and men do too, get a little freaked out when people start calling them honey. You haven't even met, and you think, God, they think we're in a relationship.
Hearts everywhere.
Yeah. And the biggest thing that you can avoid that by very short, flirty emails. When someone says, how's your day? You can lead them to the phone by saying, it was great. I'd love to share it with you on the phone. Yeah. You're telling a man it's safe to move this to the phone.
And so in terms of like questions that you might go back with, like, you've made a contact. He says, I think you look, you're kind of interesting. I'd like to get to know you. And some, what question might you put back to them? Like, what job do you do? Or what do you like to do on the weekends? Or what question would you ask to get a conversation going?
So if they've written you, what you first want to do is you want to thank them for writing you. Say something like, thank you so much for writing me. I really appreciate it. Pick something from their profile and be fun. Like, let's say they're at skiing. Say, looks like you're having fun skiing. Where was the picture taken? That's all you have to do. I mean, and then let it start to flow from there. It's you don't want to get into long email conversations because you're not in a relationship.
I think that's a really good place to start though with this whole online dating thing. It's not a scary place. I mean, you just have to approach it with a smile and with a positive attitude, and just watch, like you said, for those signs that might mean it's going somewhere you don't want to go, and say no if it's not the right one. Just be in control.
I would also have no expectations. Just go
Yeah.
online to meet new and interesting men because you have all different ways you can interact with them. You can be his friend, you can be a lover, you can be a boyfriend, he could be your husband. He would be a boyfriend. But you have lots of different
Yeah.
options in there, and don't go on. Like, I can remember when I was in my 40s, I didn't know what I was doing, and a guy would email me, and maybe we'd talk on the phone. I would start thinking, oh, am I going to be the next Mrs. Whoever? And that's crazy. I don't know anything about them. When we were young, we did not do that kind of stuff. We got to know someone. We hung out with them. We weren't making
Yeah,
decisions
exactly.
before a cup of coffee was done.
I think what you've said there is really important. Is that somehow that we go into the dating scene with such high expectations, and that in fact is what puts us off. It's what stops people from doing it, because you think that the trouble I'm going to have to go through on this online dating site to actually get someone to respond, I'm going to get rejected, isn't worth it. So you don't even make that first step. Is that something you've experienced with your clients?
I think one of the biggest problems that I always hear from women clients before they worked with me and prospective clients is the men that I write don't write to me, and the ones that I don't want write to me. And we've talked about this in another video, that we actually attract people for what we need to heal in ourselves. So that disconnect is happening because the guy that you think is hot actually has to heal something that maybe you've already healed.
Yeah.
And it's reprioritizing what you want, what you really want. It is not about hot. It is about having a life partner who's truly going to support you. These are wonderful years for playing and wonderful years where you both may need some support, some loving emotional and physical support. And you want someone that's really going to be your best friend.
You are awesome. You are a great coach. This is why you're doing what you do, because I can tell that from your heart, you understand women. And I would really advise people to go up to Lisa's website, findaqualityman.com, and check out your blog. I mean, you write so many things for Huffington Post. You write some stories for us, and your advice is just always spot on, Lisa.
Thank you, Margaret.
I'm serious. I'm serious. Okay, well, I hope that that's been helpful to everyone who's been hesitant about getting online. Go for it. Just have a go and check out Lisa's site and articles on 60andMe to get your confidence. But it's worth a try. Thanks, Lisa. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our 60andMe YouTube channel and also visit our website. We are a strong and dynamic community of women over 60. We're challenging aging stereotypes, and every day we share fascinating stories, interesting questions, and great conversation.